It is the biggest match in South American club football, and this year's final of the Copa Libertadores is among the most anticipated in the competition's history. The holders are River Plate of Argentina, and they're taking on Brazil's Flamengo in the Peruvian capital Lima. And for the first time, South America's champions will be decided by a one-off match, and the winners go on to next month's Club World Cup in Doha, where of course they could well play Liverpool in the final. Evening, watching with us former Arsenal midfielder Gilberto Silva, who won the Copa Libertadores with Atletico Mineiro in 2013, and also the journalist Jonathan Wilson, who's written extensively about football in Argentina and was actually at the second leg of the semi-final between River and Boca Juniors. This has the perfect ingredients, doesn't it, of a final? Brazil against Argentina, two of the great global clubs.
Yes, for sure. For sure, because Flamengo now is the best team in Brazil. They are played beautifully and very enjoyable football. Everyone is enjoying the way they are playing at the moment under Jesus. He's doing a great job. Obviously, it's generated a huge expectation among the fans, among many others, not only Flamengo fans, but other supporters that expecting for this game. And also, then you have an Argentina team on the other side.
And an Argentina team with success in this competition, with history in this competition. And the interesting thing about tonight is this is a one-off game, which is unusual, rare for the Copa Libertadores.
Well, it's the first time it's happened.
Exactly.
I mean, the tournament began in 1960 and it's always been a two-legged final till now. So I mean, there have been occasions when it's gone to a third game, it's gone to a playoff. Last time that happened was 1987. But this idea of having a one-off game, I spoke to Alejandro Dominguez, the president of CONMEBOL, before the final last year, and he was saying that he thinks it's essential to make it an event, not to challenge the Champions League, but to run parallel to it. And moving it to November is part of that, to try and gain a global audience.
Yeah, it's easier to get a global awareness of it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
By doing it this way.
And the fact that we're here now is testament to how that's working.
Which may or may not be a good thing for people watching. Just as regards the one-off, from a playing point of view, is this something they're going to have to get used to? Because, as Jonathan said, first time ever. So for years and years, you've had the luxury of a two-legged game.
I think, the advantage of having this is because both teams have to play football. You cannot rely on the game that you are going, maybe you have the second game at home, and then you have to come out and play. But, I believe that Flamengo will come out for this game, despite the fact, there's a lot of respect for the other team, which is the current champion. But you have to play for win the game, and they have players, the quality up front, the four players up front, as I can see here, the formation, they are doing a great job, and they will be threatening this game.
Let's get more on the game then, and the two clubs, and we can do that from South American football writer Tim Vickery.
In one corner, a giant from Argentina. In the other, a titan from Brazil. But when River Plate square off with Flamengo, there's more at stake than just the South American title. The winner goes on to represent the continent in next month's Club World Cup. That's huge over here, with a chance to have a crack at the holders of Europe's Champions League. That's especially evocative for Flamengo. Their shining moment came 38 years ago. Spearheaded by Zico, they followed up their only Libertadores title with a 3-0 triumph over Liverpool, and they're dreaming of something similar against Jurgen Klopp's men. Many may be unaware of the size of Flamengo, the Rio Colossus who count their fans in the tens of millions. They've underachieved for a while, but got the finances right, went shopping and completed the jigsaw early this year, bringing in Portuguese coach Jorge Jesus. Brazilian clubs have a poor recent record in the Libertadores, hampered by excessive caution. There is none of that with this man. Instead, there's a high defensive line, 8 men often thrown forward, and a front four that are all firing together. There's a pair of dynamic strikers, Gabriel "Gabigol" Barbosa and Bruno Henrique, and they're supported by playmakers Everton Ribeiro and Georgian de Arrascaeta. They've been sweeping all before them, but now come up against opponents of real pedigree. Reigning champions River Plate are one of the big names of the global game. They've won this title 4 times, twice in the remarkable reign of current coach Marcelo Gallardo. Surely Europe-bound, Gallardo has become a very astute tactician and has plenty of weapons at his disposal. mobile pair of strikers in Matias Suarez and Rafael Santos Borré, cannon in the right boot of Nico de la Cruz, and a potential match winner on the bench, Colombian playmaker Juan Fernando Quintero making his merry way back from injury. This is a tale of two giants meeting in a final that for the first time is a one-off game on a neutral ground. Get ready for one of the top occasions in the history of South American football.
Tim Vickery with that. The atmosphere in the stadium in Lima looks sensational. That's the Argentinian band Turf performing at the moment. And we should have a word on the fans, Jonathan, actually, because the journeys they have had to complete to get here at a venue that it only recently was given this final. It was changed from Santiago.
Yeah, I think that's the one argument against the switch from the two-legged final. Obviously, two-legged final, a huge number of people can go to the game. It's easy to get there. But especially, as you say, that anybody who had planned it would have been going to Santiago until 2 weeks ago. And then because of all the protests there, which I got tear-gassed in, so it couldn't be there. They've moved it to Lima. So yeah, the commitment to get there, the journeys they've had to make, has been extraordinary.
Stories of 50 hours coach journeys, 50-hour plus coach journeys from fans to get themselves here. I've heard of Flamengo fans who've had to fly via Buenos Aires to get here, which geographically doesn't necessarily make a great deal of sense. As regards being a Brazilian player in a club game against an Argentinian club, you were trying to explain to me earlier what that does to you psychologically.
It means a lot, It's the main rivals for us in football. And despite the fact, you are in a football club or you wear the yellow shirt, it means the same. It means a lot. I expect, a quite tough game. For the Argentina, they can be provocative in the game, and for the Brazilian side, they have to be careful in this way.
I'm not 100% sure. Do you have any idea why stormtroopers have brought the Copa Libertadores out, or is that beyond you? Is that beyond your South American footballing knowledge?
It's a local tradition.
Is it? River Plate, as we were saying, have the experience and the history going into this. They are the holders and looking to retain it for the first time since one of their big rivals did.
Since Boca did it in 2001, yeah. And if they win it, they become the joint third most successful team in the history of the competition. But I think if you look at this season, Flamengo have played the better football. They're the better team. But Gallardo is very, very good at setting up the side for big games. In his 5 years in charge, he's been in charge of 15 finals if you count the Super Cups, which maybe we shouldn't. They've won 13 of those. He's really, really good at setting up his team for specific matches.
We'll wait for the teams to come out. One thing we should say about Flamengo as well, and Tim touched on it in that little VT, is that the World Club Challenge means so much to the South Americans, and Flamengo, they don't want to get too far ahead of themselves and think about recreating the game against Liverpool in 1981.
It's a kind of rematch for them, have this opportunity to play. But I think they have to, I think this for the fans, because the fans, they have the right to do this. But obviously, if they win tonight and have an opportunity to play against Liverpool, for them will be a big thing. You can expect a lot of people fly over from Brazil.
They've got to get through this first. Here's the Copa Libertadores final 2019. Live with us here on the BBC, Flamengo against River Plate. For now, Jonathan, Gilberto, thank you. Let's join our commentary team, former England defender Stephen Warnock, alongside Mark Scott.
Thanks very much, Mark. It is the biggest game in South American football, and it is being contested by the two best sides on the continent this season. Eternal glory awaits the winners, and while there is certainly real potential for this to be a cracking final, it is pretty much guaranteed to be spectacular in the stands. Lima, an inconvenient location travel-wise for both sets of fans, but there is something quite fitting about this match being played at the Estadio Monumental. Flamengo of Brazil seen by many as the favourites following 5 months of fine success under Jorge Jesus. And the team news is, as was widely expected, both are unchanged from the second leg of their respective semi-finals. Despite being 34 years old, Felipe Luis and Rafinha will get up and down a lot from full-back for Flamengo. Bruno Henrique has been one of the stars of this season's competition, with 12 goals in his last 12 games. Well, there was a bit of controversy ahead of the game about the team of officials. The original VAR for this one, the Peruvian Diego Haro, was replaced on Tuesday. He told reporters he was wary of possible diving by the River players, having analysed videos of their game. Esteban Osterhik is in his place, and Roberto Tobar of Chile is the man in charge. Quite a spectacle in the Peruvian capital. 3 o'clock local time, the kickoff, and there seems to be more of a smattering of red and black than there is of red and white of River Plate. 7 of the River starting 11 began the second leg of last season's final victory over bitter rivals Boca. There had been some suggestion that Marcelo Gallardo might spring a surprise by switching to a back five, but he's stuck with the tried and tested system and personnel. 21-year-old Ezequiel Palacios is one of their most coveted players and has been tracked by the likes of Real Madrid. Well, many expect it to be an absolute blockbuster, and Stephen Warnock is hoping that they're right.
Really looking forward to the game. It is Flamengo versus River Plate, but don't forget, it's Brazil versus Argentina. A lot at stake, a lot of pride. A chance for River Plate to chase that 5th title that they so desire. But it's going to be a great clash of tactical astuteness from both managers. And Flamengo surprising a lot of teams with how they play this season, and really looking forward to see how they go about this game.
Flamengo seen as the favourites following a superb 5 months since Jorge Jesus took over, but Argentina's River Plate have been there and done it before in the Libertadores. The defending champions aiming to win this competition for the 3rd time in 5 years under the guidance of the very impressive Marcelo Gallardo, who is the most successful head coach in their history. There he is. 10 different titles they've won under Gallardo. It is some record, and they are the holders. Flamengo come into this with just 1 win in the tournament, a Zico-inspired success 38 years ago, and as we were hearing earlier, an added incentive for them is the opportunity to qualify for next month's Club World Cup and a potential rematch of their Intercontinental Cup clash with Liverpool in 1981. That competition perhaps not taken so seriously in England, but from what I've been told, their 3-0 win over Liverpool in Tokyo back in 81 remains their crowning glory. So, we're good to go. It will be Flamengo in their traditional black and red who will get us underway. Jorge Jesus familiar with Perez from their time together at Benfica. And we haven't even got going yet. Well, 47 teams across Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Peru, Uruguay and Venezuela have battled it out between January and November, and the final of the Copa Libertadores 2019 is between the 2 best teams across South America. The showdown everyone wanted. Hopefully it lives up to the big billing. Here is Felipe Luis towards Ribeiro, and it's an early free kick River's way. Early decision for Roberto Tobar, the Chilean in charge of the match. Julian Arau lets it run. Jorge Jesus is the first non-South American to coach Flamengo since 1950. Appointed in June, he took charge of his first game in July. And while the Flamengo fans have a bit of a reputation for being hard to please, he has won them over in double quick time, both in terms of results and their style of play. Rafinha. Maschietta. And another free kick. Rafinha and Felipe Luis, the two full-backs for Flamengo, both with plenty of European experience. Here's Barbosa. Not quite the pass he was looking for, but not quite the clearance either that Martinez wanted.
I see a few nerves creeping in already. Hear the crowd getting behind the teams. A nervous occasion for all the players on the pitch. How are they going to deal with this? This is one of the biggest factors that we often don't take into consideration, is the emotion of the players and how they're going to handle the occasion.
Forwards again from Rafinha. Gabriel Barbosa was hunting for it. Suggestion of a high boot, nothing doing. Ribeiro loses out. All a bit scrappy early on. That might change here though. Bruno Henrique on the chase. Gabriel Barbosa's in space in the area. It's a decent looking ball in, but just too high for anyone in red and black.
Yeah, Barbosa just stood still. He didn't make a move for his winger to get in a position to really hurt the River Plate back four there.
Maschietta dispossessed. Felipe Luis. Got a bit lucky with the bounce, but then mopped up by Enzo Perez, who has a key role for River Plate, just shielding that back four. Everton Ribeiro. Rafinha. The fullback so key in this game because Rafinha and Felipe Luis are almost wingers throughout the piece. Fisted away by Armani, and a free kick has gone River Plate's way as well. Franco Armani is down, and Gabriel Barbosa is having a word with the officials, which isn't like him, given that he's been fond of a yellow card or two. There is Marcelo Gachado. They're already building a statue of him, despite only being 43 years of age, already the most successful coach in River Plate's history.
It's brave from the goalkeeper, isn't it? Good goalkeeping to come out, clear the danger straight away, be brave. And the defenders know that you're there, backing them up.
This is River's 7th Copa Libertadores final. Only Boca Juniors with 11 appearances in Uruguayan side. Peñarol on 10 have played in more. First real foray forwards for them. And De La Cruz almost in round the back. But he'd made his run a touch too early. And Flamengo have the free kick.
Dangerous ball in behind. Really well defended from Rafinha in the end. Recovers well, uses all his experience to get in behind, get back and cover the danger. It's just been a scrappy start to the game so far. Just not as much quality as we'd hoped, but understandable with what's at stake in this game.
Jorge Jesus is usually good for a soundbite. He's not backwards about being forward. Said last month he thinks that he's going to leave a legacy, not just for Flamengo, but for Brazilian football as a whole, as they play football totally different from all of the other sides.
You can see straight away at the start of the game the pressing that they're trying to do. They do press really high. It's a European style of football. Two wingers, fullbacks playing as wingers effectively. And a lot of people would look at the two fullbacks of Flamengo and think, well, two 34-year-olds, have they got it in the legs? They certainly have.
Well, they have travelled great distances, stories of 55-hour bus journeys for the River Plate fans from Buenos Aires to Lima. Felipe Luis trying to nutmeg Gonzalo Montiel, and he is somebody who obviously has experience of winning things. Handful of trophies with Atletico Madrid, and of course the Premier League and League Cup during his one-year stay with Chelsea as well. Caio receiving some running repairs. Now, plenty of quality on the pitch, but also in the dugouts as well. And again, another free kick, and this time it goes Flamenco's way for the challenge on Bruno Henrique.
It's just a shove in the back, isn't it? An elbow in the back. Henrique makes the most of it, goes down under pressure. A great position for Flamengo to put a real quality ball into the box, and a lot of pressure on the goalkeeper. He dealt with the situation earlier well. Will he come off his line again? Will he be brave enough to try and take the pressure off his defenders?
Caio making his way into the centre. He scored with a header in the semi-final, the 5-0 second leg semi-final success over Grêmio. Not hard to spot now, is he? Everton, Ribeiro over it. Busy start to the game for Roberto Tovar. Oh, it's taken short. Nearly caught out there, River. But now they have the chance to try and hit on the counter. Felipe Luis has got in a bit of a muddle, but has then rescued the situation in the nick of time.
He does really well to recover. It's the pitch that held the ball up. He gets caught in the dry pitch and it just wrong foots Luis, but fortunately he gets a toe back and recovers really well, because that was a dangerous break from River Plate.
Bruno Henrique, you saw there, who has been one of the stars of the tournament. Some reckon he might be the most impressive player in the Copa Libertadores so far this term. Very versatile player, and fond of a goal as well, and fond of a long-range shot on that occasion.
Well, there it is for you. That's confidence for you. Takes the opportunity, pulls it down, thinks, why not? Have a shot, have a go. Can you test the keeper from distance? Great strike, though, from him.
Flamengo have lost just 2 of their 33 League and Cup games since Jorge Jesus took charge in July, and they arrive here unbeaten in 25 matches, winning 20 of them. But you would say so far neither side has really looked brimming with confidence.
Both cancelling each other out at the moment. There's a lack of belief to go forward at times, because they don't want to leave too much open at the back. It's just that added little bit of quality. Who's going to be the player who puts his foot on the ball, picks that killer pass and makes something happen?
Given away by Lucas Martinez. Could be trouble here. Bruno Henrique had the pace to get past his man, but not the pace to keep the ball in.
Good effort from Henrique. You can see what he's trying at the moment. He's been a player that wants to get on the ball. We just spoke about it. Can someone make a difference? He really looks up for this game, wants to impress, wants to continue his good form. If you're a Flamengo player, you'd be wanting to get him on the ball as much as you can as well.
On his first Brazil cap in September at the age of 28, Bruno Henrique. No foul. And then the challenge from Escaeta, and the foul as well. Taken by Pinola. Enzo Perez. Here's Casco. Intelligent pass, and De La Cruz trying to wriggle his way through. Comes back to Casco. Again, the ball just held up on the pitch. There were some concerns about the playing surface. The Peruvian club side, Universidad, who are the tenants here, did play on it fairly recently. Signs that it is holding up just a touch. Finola's header. Palacios forwards. Nacho Fernandez. Borre. Looking for Suarez. Matias Suarez should be easy enough for Diego Alves, and is.
He just makes his run too early there. Suarez gets caught offside, but the first time we've really seen him run in behind and make that type of run in behind the defenders. Everything's been short to feet at the moment. Someone just needs to change something, run in behind, stretch a defence if they can.
No flag. Away goes Matias Suarez, looking for De La Cruz. And he's fast, but he's not quite fast enough.
No, but it's positive again from Suarez, makes the same run in behind, he gets in again. Flamengo don't follow that run, he just spins down the side. And you're thinking, go on, burst the gut to get in there. Do you want to score a goal? And he just can't make it. Ball over hit by Suarez, but again, positive signs for River Plate.
Intelligent throw from Casco. Palacios. Here's Enzo Perez. It's a poor pass. Felipe Luis with a poor touch, though. Could be costly. Nacho Fernandez gets it in. Matias Suarez left it. Goal! River Plate lead. Rafael Santos Borre. Is he going to do it once again? The favourites are behind, and it's Rafael Santos Borre who is on target for River.
That's clinical from Borre. Very good finish. Just holds his ground on the edge of the box, just past the 6-yard box, and he just fires it into the bottom corner. But it comes from a scrappy play in midfield. A poor pass, a ricochet. They get fortunate. Luis just doesn't recover. You think he's going to slide, and it's a half-hearted challenge, and it's a poor decision again. Clearing the ball, is it you, is it me? Make a decision, clear the ball, and they're punished for it. Great finish from Borre.
It's his first goal from open play in this year's Copa Libertadores. He'd put away penalties in the quarterfinals and semi-finals, but his first goal from open play is a big one in this season's competition, because it means it's Flamengo 0, River Plate 1.
Well, how does that suit River Plate now with the tactics? Do they sit back in? Do they make it tough and try and counter-attack Flamengo? Big decision now from Gallardo, an experienced manager.
Well, there was plenty of debate about what the new format, the one-off final at a neutral venue would mean. Some were against it, felt that we wouldn't have as much entertainment as the two-legged affairs that have been customary. But the general consensus was an early goal would certainly help to increase the spectacle, and that is what we have.
I think it's brilliant, Mark. I think you've got to come out now. You've got to try and make something happen. You know Flamengo have to come and attack now. They can't think, well, we'll keep it at 1-0, and if we catch something on the break, then great, but we've still got to go back to our place, or we've still got another game. No, they have to come out now. They have to try and make things happen, and it only makes for a better game.
Plenty of attention on the attacking might of the two sides and the amount of goals that might be scored, but his side have been pretty good defensively. Marcelo Gallardo in the competition, just 8 goals conceded in their 12 games so far, and the onus now is on the Brazilians. Bruno Henrique getting no change there.
It's a great quality to have as well for River Plate, to know that in the back of your mind, you're strong defensively, that you don't concede many goals, because in the players' minds they'll be thinking now, we're capable of hanging on to this, we're capable of defending it, we know we've got players up the other end of the pitch that can score goals, so great situation for River to be in.
River lost their first 2 Libertadores finals in 1966 and 1976, but have won the last 4, 1986, 1996, 2015 and last year, of course, famously against bitter rivals Boca. Marcelo Gallardo's already having a statue built of him. What more can they do if he manages to mastermind another triumph? Felipe Luis sends it forwards, and Bruno Henrique was chasing it down. Pinola with the intervention. Haven't seen much of Gabriel Barbosa, and that's a poor touch from the man known as Gabby Goal. Here he is again, though. And he wants a free kick there, and he's told to get up.
Yeah, rightly so. Not strong enough. He's trying to buy a free kick. He knew his touch wasn't great. He knew the defender had read it. Just hoping that the referee will help him out. But here's the goal again. It's a poor pass, and it ricochets, gets away with it. Luis doesn't do enough to sort of stop the cross coming in, and Barre, he just holds his ground. Sometimes it's what good strikers do, good players do. They find space, they wait for the ball to come to them, and this is a lovely finish. It's right-footed, wrong foot to the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper with no chance of saving it. Perfect start for River Plate.
12 goals in 27 appearances this season now for the Colombian.
It's not been the greatest game as of yet, quality-wise. There's been a lot of tackling, a lot of tenacity all around the pitch, not giving each other time, not giving each other space, which you expect in a final like this. Just wonder at what point is it going to slow down and players start to pick them killer passes. It hasn't just been that quality that we want.
Again, a niggling foul. No cards forthcoming from Roberto Tobar so far. Flamengo have looked a little bit unsettled, and there was one school of thought that they came unstuck when they had to play non-Brazilian opposition in the Copa Libertadores, and perhaps they're a bit of a flat-track bully and only have it their own way when they're playing sides from their own country, and that they don't really like it at them, with sides like River Plate playing 2 up front. Here is Nico de la Cruz, now picked up by Suarez. Good ball, de la Cruz!
Now, Suarez has been really clever a couple of times now. We saw him make the run on the right-hand side earlier on, a couple of runs in behind. And what he's doing is he's just waiting for Luis and Rafinha to go forward. And he's thinking, I'm going to find them pockets. So as soon as my midfielder looks up, he knows where I am. I'm in areas where I can hurt Flamengo's defence, and he's doing it very, very well. It's just the quality that he's possessing at the end of it just isn't quite there. One thing I'd say though, Mark, is the pitch is so dry. They're struggling to run with the ball, players, struggling to find that zip on the pass. That's really going to hurt either team.
Yeah, there were some concerns about the playing surface. The game was only switched on the 5th of November. There weren't a great deal of options in terms of stadiums of the size that could host this game. It's the biggest stadium capacity-wise in South America, following the redevelopment of the Maracanã.
But it's even things like the start of the game, Mark, when you've got the opening ceremony, you've got it covered the pitch, it's so warm, it takes the moisture out the pitch. How do they water it and get it back to that level that you want to play football on and zip the ball about quickly? These are all little factors that when you play in a final, a big game, you don't really think of until you get out on the pitch and think, this is a little bit different to what we're used to.
More lobbying of Roberto Tobar to put a yellow card out here.
The referee's tried to do the right thing early doors. He's tried to let the game go as freely as he can. He hasn't wanted to hand out cards. He understands what's at stake for both players. The fans want to see that passion and desire from the players, getting close to people. And it was worthy of a yellow card.
So midway through the first half, and it's the holders ahead against the side seen as the favourites for the title. It's easy pickings though for Diego Alves.
I think so far Flamengo have probably had stage fright. I think that's the way you'd look at it. Yes, they come in as favourites, but to live up to the tag of favourites is sometimes the toughest thing to do. A lot's expected of you to get that result, and they've been poor so far.
Rafinha. Again, plenty of hassling and harrying, and the ball has gone out. River just seem a bit more up for it. And again, there was also a theory that Jorge Jesus' side may be suffering from a bit of fatigue coming into this one due to their high-energy style and the fact that Jorge Jesus doesn't seem to believe in rotation, so he's been sticking with his frontline players in all of their matches, and there was a worry they might be a bit burnt out for tonight.
Well, they look sluggish so far, they haven't looked lively, but whether that's the players feeling fatigued or whether it's River Plate have been all over them, they've made it difficult. Clever run again in behind from Suarez. He's been really intelligent so far in the game. It's very unfortunate that ball ricochets into his hand there, but again, clever, experience, running in behind, making it difficult, stretching the game for his team.
Joined River at the start of the year from Belgrano, Matias Suarez, and was called up by Argentina soon after, won his first cap in March, just before his 31st birthday, so a bit of a late bloomer on that front. Rafinha's throw. Felipe Luis. Enrique again trying to make something happen, but you get the feeling at the moment Flamengo are trying to force things.
That's exactly it, Mark. They're trying. I mean, the ball from Luis there up to Barbosa, it's poor, it's round his hip, it's not played in with any care to help him lay the ball off, to find another man. It's a fight for Barbosa to get hold of that ball, and that's not what starts attacks. We're just going to see the goal again. It's poor defending from Flamengo. Great finish from Boré, though. What he'll have dreamed about all last night and this week leading up to the game. Can he get on the scoreline? Can he make a difference for his team?
De La Cruz nips in. That looked like a foul. And the referee concurs.
Fantastic feet, great ability. That's what you need in the middle of the park. Take it under pressure.
Taken quickly and trying to slip in Milton Casco there. And got a deflection. It'll be a corner.
Everton Ribeiro there, just overplaying, trying to be too clever in and around his own box, and River Plate they've capitalised every single time. They realise that Flamengo want to try and over-elaborate. They want to be seen to be playing the correct way of football from what they see. River Plate are jumping all over them at every opportunity. Their pressing has been superb. They've almost flipped the tactics on the head of Flamengo and said, OK, we'll play your own game, and we're more than happy to do that.
De La Cruz's delivery is straight onto the head of Everton Ribeiro. Javier Pinola has got forwards from the back here. Might get a nosebleed, the centre-back. He's lost possession. Rafinha winning it. Julian Arau sending it forwards, but again, the pressure and the pressing nearly reaped rewards for River.
Brilliant pressing again. They're just sensing where the passes are going to go, where they need to step in, because they know that Flamengo have that quality to hurt them. They respect that. The best thing to do is stop it at source, make it very, very difficult for them. The pressing from River Plate has been outstanding. I just wonder how long they can carry that pressing on for in this heat.
Well, you saw Gerson fouled there, and Willian Arau and Gerson, the two holding midfielders in the centre for Flamengo, quite frankly being overrun in this first half, and that is where River are getting so much joy.
Just getting caught on the ball at times as well, not quick enough to react to situations, but the whole team looks flat for Flamengo. They don't look like they're at the races. Again, looking for individual brilliance to bring them to life.
Gabriel Barbosa doing his level best, but he has not had a sniff so far. Don't forget that later on this evening we have Premier League highlights for you on BBC One at 10:20. Match of the day with Gary Lineker and co. Plenty for them to get their teeth into from the afternoon's action. Rafinha wants the foul. He gets it, and it's going to be the first yellow card of the game as well, by the looks of things.
First time we're seeing Rafinha really high up the pitch, trying to affect the game at the other end of the pitch. It's good skill from him. Just gets caught. It's a position again for Flamengo to really put a quality ball into the box. When you're not playing well, these are opportunities, set pieces where you can hurt River Plate. Can you be inventive? They tried it before. Quality just wasn't quite right. It'll be interesting to see whether they try and put the ball under Armani's crossbar, or whether they're trying something clever again.
Milton Casco, the man caution, plays at left back, even though he is a right-footed player. Half an hour gone, and Franco Armani has not had a save to make so far. Escaeta is going to take. Decent delivery as well. Willian Arau was up there. Well won by De La Cruz. Chesson took a bit of a gamble. That's a handy pass, though. Arrascaeta. Will be a corner. It's a close call as to whether it had gone for a corner or a throw. Taken short. Rafinha. Everton Ribeiro. That's a handy ball, but it's well gathered by Franco Armani.
Yeah, it's good play again for Flamengo. Just put a little bit of pressure on River Plate in the last couple of minutes, and he tried to be inventive again. It's just that quality into the box. Armani's done well again to come out and help his defenders out. His defenders will be delighted with that. Just takes that pressure off them, slows the game down again.
This is the 15th Copa Libertadores final between teams from Argentina and Brazil. 9 wins for the Argentinians, 5 for the Brazilians. Although the last 2 finals between teams from the countries were won by the Brazilian side. Corinthians against Boca in 2012 and Grêmio also winning against Lanús in 2017. De La Cruz nips in. Suarez almost through.
It's just so unlucky, Suarez. It just clips his own heel as he's away from the defenders. But again, it's that pressing from River Plate. Superb from them.
De La Cruz. Oh, that's a good challenge from Gerson. De La Cruz didn't feel it. Gerson on the move and was still moving. Good ground made up. Gabriel Barbosa waits. Bruno Henrique in the centre as well, but Gerson just bit off a bit more than he could chew. Barbosa scrapping for it. And the free kick is River Plate's.
Brilliant play from Gerson to start with. So powerful and dynamic through the middle. He just ran out of gas at the end. Should have picked a pass earlier on, but that was better from him. We haven't seen anything really from him in the first 30 minutes or so of this game.
So far, so good for Marcelo Gallardo, despite only being 43 years of age, already the most successful coach in River's history, having won 10 titles. And after tonight, they've got the Argentinian Cup as well. Got defending to do here, meanwhile. Bruno Henrique, not quite. Borre. Fernandez. Here's De La Cruz. De La Cruz up against Rafinha. And the veteran fullback manages to deal with the danger for now. Forwards by Casco to no one in particular.
Just at the other end, Hernandez gets on the edge of the box and it's almost like he doesn't believe himself that he's going to make something happen. It's just not quite happening for Flamengo at the moment. And as you look at the other end and you look at De La Cruz, he's trying to take people on in the box, he's trying to make things happen. There's a belief within River Plate at the moment that they can win this game and they can cause Flamengo all kinds of problems. Just don't look sharp at all, Flamengo, anywhere on the pitch. Even when they pick the ball up for a throw and you're thinking, pick the tempo up, make it happen. Someone has to take lead in the team, and no one seems to be doing that at the moment for Flamengo.
Willian Arau. Pablo Mari is Felipe Luis, now Gerson. Caio. Gerson. Caio to Rafinha. Looking for Gabriel Barbosa, but Pinola there first.
You see Georgios out the picture, just having a look at Barbosa and to say, you've got to give us more, we need more from you, you've got to give him an option when you're up front, you've got to run that line, try and give your full-back Rafinha an option. frustrating for him trying to run that line on his own.
Gabriel Barbosa loses out to Javier Pinola again. Arau wins the header. Gerson. And wants a foul there. Jorge Jesus is appealing more than most. Montiel can bring it forwards. Good work from the youngster. Borre. And comes the hit. And it wasn't far away. Well, that was travelling, and I don't think that Diego Alves would have got there.
What a fantastic strike this is. So unfortunate. But again, River Plate, they drive at the heart of Flamengo. They make it difficult for them. Just opens his body up. Lovely strike, and very unlucky not to hit the target. The keeper's beaten all ends up as well.
And Palacios is arguably River's most coveted player. He's been linked to a number of top clubs, Real Madrid amongst them, and almost flagged up his potential even more there with that strike. Palacios, Casco, Nico de la Cruz. De la Cruz again. Oh, you can see what he was trying to do, and Felipe Luis has to hack that away. Bit more tempo to the game now. Free kick, River Plate's way, which they're in a hurry to get on with.
Palacios has got a grip on this game now. He's the one who's dictating play. He's the one who's shifting the ball from left to right, making things happen, drawing in fouls, slowing the game down for his team. It's been superb so far.
Enrique loses his way. Casco. Martinez. Willian Arau was clipped.
I think one of the most frustrating things for Jorge Jesus will be that it's too easy. Ball into Enrique there. Just let it get hold of it, make it stick. It's far too easy, and he almost doesn't look bothered when he loses the ball. I think that would be one of the most frustrating things if you're the manager on the sidelines thinking, I don't mind losing a game, but we're losing it in the wrong way completely.
Did well from the deck there, Nico de la Cruz. Caio to Willian Arau. Forwards from Pablo Mari. Here's Felipe Luis. Arrascaeta, who we have not seen a great deal of. In fact, none of Flamenco's real flair players have been able to express themselves in the opening 40 minutes. Gerson, Willian Arau, finding Felipe Luis. Bruno Enrique, back to Felipe Luis, now the Arrascaeta, still going. He just ran into a wall of white and red in the end. Rafinha's got to be quick, and that was a bit of a nasty clash there, and they're both feeling the effects of that, Nico de la Cruz and Rafinha.
Understand why De La Cruz went for it though. He felt that if he could win the header, he was in behind Rafinha. is a nasty clash of heads. That's going to hurt. I just hope both players pick themselves up after that, because it's a nasty clash of heads.
Do Flamengo look tired?
To me, they don't look like they've got the identity of what we spoke about leading into the game. The high energy, the high tempo football. When they get the ball, they're looking round, there's no options, no one seems to be moving off the ball. So whether that's from the high energy or just River Plate again snuffing out the danger, making it difficult for them. But even in the defending here, it's lethargic, it's passive, it's not really wanting to defend. And that's the way they've been all game. River Plate have been completely the opposite. You can tell that they've come here with a game plan. They're executing it very, very well so far. And you can tell they're the team in control of this game. George Jesus will be thinking, get to half-time, I need to get my team in, I need to have a bit of a timeout, a chat to the players, get them back on track.
Bruno Enrique again getting no change out of Javier Pinola. Rafinha with the throw. Again, Pinola immediately onto it. Julian Arau, Gabriel Barbosa is not coming off too well in his duel with the River captain.
Pinola's just using all his experience, isn't he, to few gamesmanship, a little bit of gamesmanship out there, make it tough for him, upset him. Barbosa's, he's letting it get to him at the moment, so Pinola winning that battle.
Different opponent for Gabriel Barbosa, but the same outcome. He loses possession. Oh, and the ball was on through the centre there. Palacios. Nicely done. There's no flag here either. Opportunity knocks, and it's knocked away by Diego Alves. And now the flag does go up, but at first glance it looked a clear offside. Flamengo were furious.
Such a frustrating rule that we've brought into the game. It's clearly offside. I think this is where we need to be clever. Players can still get injured after this situation. If the flag goes up earlier, players just accept the decision and get on with it.
Bruno Enrique gives chase. He's beaten to it by Lucas Martinez.
So Martinez has had one of the easiest games you've probably ever felt he's had. He's had nothing to do. A couple of balls in behind, but dealt with them very, very comfortably.
Rafinha. Final minute of the first half, and you'd say River Plate good value for their 1-0 lead. Felito Luis fizzed that into Rascaeta. I thought about that for a while, Roberto Tobar, before giving Bruno Enrique the decision.
What an important time this will be to score. Just going into half-time. Can it change the team talk that you're about to be given, and you're about to give out to your team? This is where you need that moment of quality. This is where your experienced players, your key players step up and put that moment of quality into the box.
Julian Arau with a really poor pass as we go into 3 additional minutes. And the pressure from Borre there, forcing the mistake. Borre after it again. Everton Ribeiro in the right place for Flamengo. And taken out as well.
I can't understand that whatsoever. You've got an opportunity to put the ball in the box, make something happen. Suddenly you're getting counter-attacked down the other end of the pitch with a matter of minutes to go before half-time. Test the goalkeeper, test the defenders. Can they withstand that pressure so late on in the first half?
Marcelo Gachado, the River coach, has a reputation for being an extremely astute tactician. And midway through this Copa Libertadores final, he seems to have played his cards just right.
And the game plan he has set out his team has been perfected in this first half.
Julian Arau, Pablo Mari, Gabriel Barbosa. I was going to say it's a chance for him to stretch his legs, but he's lost possession. And could it be costly for Flamengo? Here's Suarez giving chase, and it looks a bit of a soft foul there. It's a yellow card as well, which seems very harsh.
I'm not sure the referee's got that one quite right. He must have thought it was a cynical foul. Silly foul from Suarez, because he's got him where he wants him. He's got him under pressure.
Forwards from Diego Alves. Final minute of stoppage time. Palacios. Enzo Perez. Here's Palacios again. Here's Suarez. Well won by Felipe Luis. Well, one back two. Confirmation of the yellow card for Matias Suarez. Julian Arau. And it is the River fans you can hear at the moment, and why not? Well, that is it for the first half, and a good job so far for those supporting the team in red and white. At the break, it is Flamengo 0, River Plate 1.
Thank you very much to Mark and Stephen for that first 45 minutes. Those River Plate fans will be happy with their side's display after 45 minutes, and they are on course for back-to-back wins in the Copa Libertadores. There's plenty for Flamengo to do. Gilberto Silva and Jonathan Wilson in the studio. How much do you criticise the Brazilian side? How much do you praise the Argentinian side?
Flamengo, if they want to get something out of this game, they have to play properly. As we were used to watch them the last few games, they are not playing, not naturally. And obviously, River, they are playing very clever because they use the flanks, behind Felipe Luis and Rafinha, because they have put some players there and have a few important chances, from this position. But Flamengo, they need to put more passion in the game, and the four guys up front, they need to show up and show more interest in the game. Show that, listen, we want to win. It's an opportunity for play the final.
Well, we'll look at the problems that River have caused Flamengo very, very shortly. But just overall, it felt like, actually for 10 minutes, I know it's a 45-minute half, but for 10 minutes or so, Flamengo were all right. And then the nose injury to Rodrigo Coward then seemed to throw them off course a bit.
Yeah, I think that disrupted their rhythm. I think River played really well. I don't know if there's a bit of anxiety there. And they mentioned it in commentary, the pitch looks a little bit sticky. I don't know if it's a bit dry or whether it's just a little bit long. But they're certainly not playing with anything like the kind of fluency we've seen in the Brazilian league this season. Do
you think the pitch is causing them a problem? I mean, it's difficult to tell from thousands of miles away, but it does look slow and sticky.
It looks like, it's a bit dry. But obviously, we can say a lot of things, the pitch is not good or whatever. But you know, as Jonathan said, River is playing very well. Very clever game, you know. They are make up, you know. We can see now that their games from the flanks and try to explore this situation. Flamengo, they have to put the soul out. This is why we always call Brazil, because when you play against Argentinian player, you know they are going to play hard. This is what they are showing on the pitch, you know, from the tackling when they got a chance. Flamengo, it seemed a bit floppy, and this one we can say that. But this is what I expect more from them.
You keep talking about the attacks down the flanks, and that's not necessarily coming from the wide players of River Plate. It's coming from the movement of the two up front, and they're able to get in down the side.
Yeah. It's becoming dangerous, you know, because they are using quite well. It's very clear I think for everyone how they build up their game, you know, up front. And they have to be aware because they have the guy, and the guys come from the back, you know, and can have another problem. If they do, it will be a...
You mentioned the goal. Sorry, this is the goal, Jonathan.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier, Jonathan, as well, that problems for Flamengo this season have come when they've actually faced two strikers up front.
Yeah, I mean, so before the game I was trying to look for reasons why Flamengo wouldn't win. And so I think it's almost the way Jorge Jesus has spoken about this being a new way of playing, a European way of playing. And maybe Brazilian sides can't cope with that. And I think it's significant that the only non-Brazilian team they played in a knockout was Emelec from Ecuador, who beat them 2-0 in the first leg. One of those goals came from somebody getting behind the fullback, getting across. The point you make about the two centre-forwards, they're not used to playing against teams with two centre-forwards. When they did, 10 days ago against Vasco, they drew 4-4.
Yeah.
And these two centre-forwards, OK, the goal here was the first goal either of them scored an open play in a knockout, but their movement, pulling behind the fullbacks, has been brilliant. And I think that's causing real problems. And maybe particularly because the fullbacks are both 34 and struggling to get up and down.
Should professional footballers be able to adapt more to going, or defenders and fullbacks to going, to playing regularly against teams who have one up front to then playing against teams who have two up front? Should it be easy to adapt?
Well, sometimes it depends, you know, because they play on a different competition. You know, when you play on the Copa Libertadores, my opinion is totally different when you play on National League. And now it's a special one because the final is not sometime about who is going to play the better game, but it's who wants more to win this game. And sometimes it's about, you know, you work in the tactics, but sometimes the tactics doesn't work. And how can you solve the problem? And sometimes you have to show up, you know, the passion of the game. Okay, let's win the tackles, let's organize here, but our guys up front must show that they want something, you know. Barbosa is one of the main players up front. I've seen him, you know, he's a bit out of his game. You know, not holding the ball properly as we expect, and also contribute for the guys to pass to him and give him the ball back.
And it's almost as if they've been caught by surprise a little bit at times, Flamengo, by River Plate being on top of them and pressing them, and then making mistakes.
Yeah, I mean,
this is the goal again, which it combines both. They give the ball away, and goes back to the point of it being out wide.
They have 3 opportunities to get the ball clear here, and every time River are on top of them straight away. So, you know, we began the game saying Flamengo, this great pressing team, that's what we're expecting to see. The truth is, they've been out-pressed. Now, it might be that physically Flamengo is still sort of the stronger team or the quicker team, but in terms of the cleverness of the pressing, in terms of the organisation of it, River are totally dominating that at the moment.
Do you think Flamengo were expecting to be able to have more time on the ball in their own half?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. For sure they were expecting it, but as we see now, River is putting pressure on them. It's normally what they used to do in Brazil League. You know, Flamengo is doing that, you know, for the clubs in Brazil. And now they are tasting the
taste of their own medicine. Is what people call it.
Who would do that to them in Brazil? There's only Santos who really play a pressing game. So they're not used to facing teams who press them hard, and they're struggling.
Yeah.
So if you're not used to facing teams do that when you're playing actual games, could you recreate it in training against other players within your squad in preparation for something like this?
Well, you can create, but for one game, maybe it's not going to work. It's just, okay, you build up the way you play, This is how they did, since when Jesus arrived. It's been work well, but for this game, it has not worked. We have to find a way, I think now is an important time for him. Just calm the guys down. Listen, we are making mistakes at the back, Let's find a way. Maybe don't play there. Let's try, press them and play a bit long. Try to get the ball in their half, because as we tried here now field did not work. Let's try there. Maybe put ball long, press everyone in their half. This is how they should try.
Yeah, I mean, the issue of physicality, I think it's been really interesting that River have conceded 3 free kicks near the box.
Yeah.
And if they had a fault against Boca in the second leg of the semi, it was they conceded a lot of free kicks around the box. And Boca were quite good at that, and eventually they did score from it. Here, they haven't put the ball in the box at all. They've played it short. It's almost as if they're thinking, we just can't win this in the air, as if physically they're intimidated.
You'd go along with that, would you?
Yeah. I think they had to put pressure, and you had to play the final.
Yeah.
The final is about winning. Who has the desire, to go there, come out, and do as much as you can.
You did spot the tactical change. They have made a tactical change, haven't they? And Arau has gone to, middle of a back 3 sweeper, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
So they tried to go 3 at the back, and then Luis Felipe and Rafinha as wing backs.
But they're still struggling to get a ball from the back and build up their games, because River, as Jonathan said, it's put them under pressure. And it's becoming dangerous because they lost a few balls, could have conceded more goals.
Of course, you could do all the tactics that you want, but sometimes it might just come down to superstition. We're going to show you this, which happened pre-match as they came out, and Barbosa touches the trophy as he goes past. And that's a no-no, isn't it?
Well,
no. Bear in mind, you saw that and you went like that. So that's a no.
I just did like this.
Yeah. You don't touch it before you win it, surely.
Of course not. We don't touch the trophy before, After you win, you are able to.
The other thing you were saying as well, from your time and not every Brazilian changing room is the same, but from your time of Copa Libertadores and being in the dressing room half-time of the second leg of your final, is that it can be very emotional, and it just needs everybody to calm down.
I'll give one example. Back in 2013, we played 2 legs game, and we lost the first game 2-0. We have to change the situation. Play at home, 60,000 people, and the first half we did a very good game, but we didn't score the goal. And before we come out, I just called the guys, and they're somewhere in the warm-up room, and listen, come on. This is one in lifetime. You play final in the Copa Libertadores. Play for yourself, play for your family, because they suffer with you all the time you are away, play this kind of game. Don't have this chance next year. It's our chance now, let's do it. And, in the end, we came out and scored 2 goals on a penalty shoot, we won. It's sometime, it's about what you have inside for this game. It's not about tactics always. Obviously, have to be organized, but they have to change the way they played in the first half.
Let's just expand more on River Plate and their coach, Marcelo Gallardo, and the phenomenal work, Jonathan, that he has done since taking over this club.
Oh, it's extraordinary. I think you have to sort of bear in mind the whole history of the club, which their nickname is Las Gallinas, the chickens, because their record was to mess up big games. So the Gallinas nickname comes from the 60s. They I think they 2-0 up in the Libertadores semi-final, lost it, and the next game was in Banfield, and Banfield's fans released live chickens on the pitch. So in the 2014 semi-final, Carlos Tevez scored a late goal for Boca against them and did a chicken dance, which the referee then copied to show why he was sending him off for it. And this whole thing kind of, it sort of haunted them. It's all gone out the window with Gallardo. He won it as a player in '96, and he's come in, he's got this record, as we were saying before the game, of 13 wins and 15 finals. OK, not all those finals are the same standard, but 2 of them Libertadores. If he wins today, he becomes only the 3rd coach in history to win more than 2 Libertadores, alongside Zubeldia and Bianchi. So he becomes, at the age of 43, right at the highest level of the pantheon.
And it is part of the work that he's had to do. Is it even more remarkable because a lot of Argentine clubs will be permanently in transition, the turnover of players, and yet he has managed to keep it relatively, as I understand it, settled.
Yeah, I mean that's partly to do with River's finances. They've been able to do that. Not all clubs would be, but yeah, that's the. That's the way it works. You win a championship or you win a Libertadores and half your team's gone within 6 months. And that's why you see such a turnover of different champions, and a team who's been at the top one season will be at the bottom next season. And he's sort of brought this oasis of calm into the middle of that. That's a remarkable thing to do politically, emotionally, in terms of getting the players to buy into what he's doing and not be running off to Europe to get more cash. And, to give you an example of or to give you some stats as to what a problem that is, since the Second World War, there's been one European player with no Argentinian heritage who's played in Argentina. It's Daniel Rossi, who's essentially gone on a gap year at the end of his career. I'm not saying he's not taking it seriously.
No,
He's had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
But essentially, he thought, you know what, Boca looks like fun. I'll go and play there. He's had lots of hamstring injuries. Hasn't really worked out for him. There are currently 1,800 Argentinian players playing abroad. So it's totally a seller's. They're selling all the time, and Gallardo has just about managed to overcome that. So he's the most successful River coach of all time at the hardest possible time to keep a team together.
But then is Gallardo, if it's a seller's market when it comes to players, and now certainly, what Guardiola said about him earlier this season, I can't explain how he isn't nominated for best coach. So Guardiola, what he's done is incredible. He is on the radar, surely, of the big European class. Yeah,
and there's a history of Argentinian coaches coming to Europe and doing well. Pochettino, Simeone particularly, which isn't really true of Brazilians. I mean, you had Otto Gloria back in the 60s.
Yeah, I had the past a little bit,
but there's not as many of them as Argentinian coaches. So it's not as if there's any fear that will an Argentinian adapt to Europe. No, of course he will. There's hundreds of them, or tens of them have done so. So yeah, I think he'll absolutely be on a lot of teams' radars.
Let me just point you in the direction of all the sport coming away over the rest of the weekend. Obviously, it's been a busy day in the Premier League. Highlights from 8 games on Match of the Day, 10:20 on BBC One. 5 Live has commentary tomorrow. Sheffield United against Manchester United. It's a 4:30 kickoff. Highlights then on Match of the Day 2, which will come from Bramall Lane. Manchester City's Kyle Walker and Darren Fletcher should be with us for that. Live football with the Women's Super League, Bristol City, Manchester City on the iPlayer. And then tomorrow on BBC Two as well, highlights from golf's World Tour Championship. Teams are coming back out in Lima. River Plate have been out for a while. Flamengo just joining them. The Argentinian side are 45 minutes away from retaining the Copa Libertadores. Let's rejoin former England defender Stephen Warnock and first of all Mark Scott.
Thanks very much, Mark. So yes, they are within touching distance of doing it once again. Jorge Jesus needs to pull something out of the hat, and the big question would have been during the interval, what exactly did he say to his men in red and black?
Well, one thing he will have said is that you're fortunate to come in at just 1-0 down. Take that as a positive, because they weren't at the races, they were poor. He'll be asking for more passion from them, more belief in what they're doing. They need to lift their energy levels because they look flat in the first half. And I think the only thing you could say is that it can only get better for Flamengo as well.
Well, we heard a lot about that man during the interval. And Marcelo Gallardo took over at River in June 2014 when he inherited a side that hadn't won a continental competition since 1996 and was still smarting from their first ever relegation in 2011. But he quickly revitalised the place, winning the Copa Libertadores, the Copa Sudamericana and the Recopa Sudamericana in his first 14 months in charge, which is the equivalent to the Champions League, Europa League and European Super Cup. He is a phenomenon, and his legend is set to grow even greater. It's not just Pep Guardiola who's been paying tribute to him. Lionel Messi has also been full of praise, and some feel that he fancies the prospect of him either taking over at Barcelona or as the head coach of the Argentine national side. So much on it for Felipe Luis. And we mentioned the fullbacks being so key, but Rafinha and Felipe Luis have barely made a dent in the opposition half so far.
No, they've nullified them completely, River Plate, with the way that they've played. They've been very clever. Tactically, they've been superb in this game because they are dangerous players. They're very experienced, and you do need to shut them down as quick as you can, and River Plate have done that as Luis is caught on the ball again.
Here's Chesson. Bit of room to work with now for the Astroreta. Gabriel Barbosa, who does have a fierce strike on him, gets his first strike in at goal, but easy enough for Armani.
Just get on the in between the lines there for the first time, get turned and running at the River Plate defence, but again, not that power or acceleration to really hurt River Plate, and Barbosa sort of takes the easy option there, just shifts it and tries to score a wonder goal, if you like. You need to be a little bit more clever in what you're trying to do, have a little bit more guile in and around the box.
He was banned for the first leg of the final, having defied a touchline suspension in the semi-final second leg against Gremio last year, when he gave a half-time team talk, said that he did it because he thought it was necessary. He doesn't regret it one bit. He was banned from even attending the first leg of the final against Boca and watched the second leg in Madrid from the stands. He is a bit of a maverick, but he really is doing the business. And again, Bruno Henrique's appeals fall on deaf ears.
They've just been so aggressive in the tackle. They've believed in every time that the ball's coming into the strikers of Flamengo that they're going to get tight, they're going to make it difficult. Superb defending again from River Plate.
Throw from Gonzalo Montiel. Forwards by Chesson. Chased by Bruno Henrique. Bruno Henrique again going to ground and again getting nothing from the referee, but eventually the whistle does go the way of Flamenco for the foul on Georgian Diarraskiaita. Short for Chesson. Everton Ribeiro. Gets the cross in, which got a deflection on it, but Torres back there helping out the defence. An important lunge from Pablo Mari there.
Rafinha was in trouble, he knew he was getting ran away from. Mari does well just to help his full-back out and sniff out the danger. I haven't seen much change from Flamengo at the start of this half. They still look lethargic, they still look tired. They don't look like they want to be on the ball. You see, a few minutes ago, Gerson in midfield, he just doesn't get hold of the ball properly, he just spins it in behind. You've got to take care when you're on the ball in a final like this. You've got to want the ball, you've got to be brave to make things happen.
Julian Arau was caught out of position there, and Suarez's strike wide in the end. River have only lost 4 of their 21 League and Cup games since their season started in July, winning 12 of them.
Enrique's just disappointed there. He feels like he's got his eyes on the ball. He's only seeing the ball. He leaps, gets a good header on the ball. Flailing arm, catches. There's not much in that at all. You can understand why he's disappointed. It's a great leap from Enrique.
Lucas Martinez sends it forwards. Everton Ribeiro. Gabriel Barbosa. Cherson. De la Cruz snapping at his heels. Felipe Luis. Looking for Gabriel Barbosa, but catching practice for Armani.
His decision-making's been superb so far in this game. Again, take the pressure off your defence, come out, claim the ball, slow the game down again. Very good goalkeeping from Armani.
De la Cruz, intelligent pass that. Matias Suarez works it back to Palacios. You can see what he's trying to do there, and Rafinha has to just shovel it out.
Good play from River Plate again. It's inventive in and around the box. The difference is just how calm they are on the ball. They believe in what they're doing.
Milton Casco's throw. Around missed it. Here's Palacios.
He keeps on shooting, he keeps on getting that half a yard and getting a strike in at goal. He's unfortunate here. You can see what he's trying to do. He's just trying to use the defender to bend it round into that far corner. I think Alves had it covered this time anyway.
He scored in River's last game, their domestic cup semi-final win over Estudiantes last Friday.
I just feel that Flamengo are going to have to make a change at some point to make something happen in the game, get an injection of pace into the game.
Injection of pace from Montiel there. Julian Arau thought about it. De la Cruz went for it and sent it a long way over the top.
I think he made the wrong choice there. If he scores from there, we're looking at goal of the century. Very difficult skill to take it out the sky like that and catch it on the side volley.
Again, Bruno Enrique is on the deck, and again, no whistle for him. Instead, Borré tries to get away, and he does win the free kick, and that will be a yellow card for Pablo Mari, the first flamenco man in the book.
It just seems to me that Flamengo, every time they get the ball, are surprised at how quick River Plate are pressing them. River catch them by surprise again, and great play from Borré down the line. So strong, and he's away, he gets his shirt tugged, he gets pushed, he gets kicked, and rightly so, gets booked for the challenge.
Joined this summer for £1 million after 3 years at Manchester City. Pablo Mari, though he never played for City. Wide it goes from Palacios. No way through for Nacho Fernandez.
Just look at the body language of the Flamengo players as well. They're walking round, they've got their heads down. They don't feel like they can get back into the game, or at least that's how it looks from the body language.
That's a corner. Well, you wonder how long it'll be until Jorge Jesus looks to his bench to try and change the complexion of this one. Nico de la Cruz over the corner. It wasn't a bad delivery either. And came off Caio last. More chin stroking for Jorge Jesus. De la Cruz's corner He's again met by Rodrigo Caio. Rivero using his physicality well. There's a River player down in the box at the moment. Now, with the miscontrol, but then he made up for it. Everton Ribeiro in possession now, and they want the ball put out to River. But this could be controversial. Bruno Henrique! And Gabriel Barbosa denied, as is Everton Ribeiro. Well, if that had ended up in the net, there could have been a riot.
Well, how have they not scored? You look at Barbosa, he's running off, he's claiming for a handball. The players are surrounding the Flamengo players now from River Plate. They feel that the ball should have been kicked out. The Flamengo just wonder how they haven't scored there. Great defending from the River Plate players, throwing bodies on the line, getting in the way. It's not a foul, and the follow-up from Everton, he should do better. He just scuffs it into the ground. And the keeper, Armani, jumps all over it. He'll feel very fortunate that it just drops into his hands here as he dives to his right-hand side.
Well, plenty for Roberto Tobar to contend with here. There's the discontent amongst the River players that Flamengo didn't put the ball out, and then the protests for a handball by De La Cruz. This is what they're appealing for.
It's never a handball, it's a ricochet onto the elbow, but great defending from River Plate. What you'd want at that moment in time in the final. Bodies on the line, get yourself in front of it. It's purely frustration from Barbosa that he didn't get anything from it, because he feels he probably should have scored himself.
Well, he's in consultation with Esteban Osterhick, the Uruguayan, who is the VAR for this game. And the decision is a bounce ball. Still a lot quicker than we've had in the Premier League.
Yeah, just interesting to see that he didn't go to the side as well and use the screen. Something that we've been desperate to see from the Premier League.
And that's gone behind, hasn't it? Certainly looked like it, and that's what Matias Suarez was asking for. An hour played, and the second half has yet to really get going, but that will suit River Plate, who are inching towards successfully defending their crown. Everton Ribeiro took too long. Felipe Luis has to scamper after that one. He won't get there. It's another unforced error at the back from the Brazilians.
Been put under pressure time and time again from River Plate. They forced them into errors constantly. It wasn't a difficult situation to deal with.
Gerson was caught. Everton Ribeiro. Bayo all the way back to Diego Alves. Pablo Mari. Willian Arau. And it's back to Diego Alves. Willian Arau. Gerson. It's a bit better from Flamengo. Felipe Luis.
That's the first time we've seen what we expected to see from Flamengo, playing it out from the back, a structure to the play.
Yeah, that was a meaty challenge, and the free kick has gone Flamengo's way.
You can just see the trap that River Plate are trying to set every single time. When the ball goes long, they're onto it straight away. They're in the faces of the Flamengo players.
Milton Casco, who made the challenge there, has already been booked, and a few of the Flamengo players were just inquiring as to whether that would merit a second caution, but fortunately for him, Roberto Tobar not interested.
I think it'd have been very harsh. I think he was genuinely trying to go for the ball, just a little fraction late. Every foul's not a yellow card. I think some people get carried away with that. I think the refereed this game very, very well, though. He's managed it superbly well.
Nacho Fernandez. Away by Diego Alves. It's a good boot in from Bruno Henrique. Arau to Felipe Luis.
Again, River Plate coming out on top in the battles in the middle of the park. They've won everything in and around that centre. When balls have been ricocheting about, it's been a River Plate player who comes out on top.
Bruno Henrique turning into trouble, but then remedying the situation before he was clattered. Taken quickly. Rafinha. Everton Ribeiro. Rafinha. De Arrascaeta. Everton Ribeiro. On for Rafinha. It's on a bad cross, too high for Gabriel Barbosa. It's run to Felipe Luis. And arriving late in the day was Everton Ribeiro.
It's just so static from Flamengo. Whenever they've got the ball, they're looking up for a pass, and there's no one running in behind. There's no one really causing a problem for River Plate. River can just stay in the positions and hold the ground, knowing that they're not going to dislodge them.
Oh, we wondered when Jorge Jesus may roll the dice and make a change. One is imminent. Is Borre, though, the man who scored the goal that separates the sides. Nacho Fernandez on the move. Gerson. Nicely done. Bruno Henrique did well to stretch for that. That was looking for Gabriel Barbosa, and that's a high boot from Bruno Henrique. Advantage played. No advantage gained, though. Gerson is being withdrawn, and Diego, the 34-year-old playmaker who injured his ankle in the Copa Libertadores in July but returned last month, is on for him. 34 caps for the senior Brazilian side. De La Cruz.
Diego is the type of player who can definitely make a difference in a game, and he'll be chomping at the bit to get on the pitch, watching on from the sides, thinking the quality's not quite here, I can add more to this. So now's his time. Can he step on and show everyone why he should have been playing a starting role in the game?
Palacios. Nacho Fernandez, that's a good pass. Suarez's ball wasn't close enough to anyone in red and white.
Brilliant again from Palacios. He has been superb in this game. Just a lovely back heel, sends two of the Flamengo players right out the way, and great passing behind again, and it's just Suarez waiting for that pullback. He was waiting on the edge.
It's a handy pass, and on the stretch, Pablo Mari not fully away. The action says it all.
Lovely control on the chest, and the strike is almost perfect. You can just see it from Fernandez. He thinks it's going in the top corner. The keeper believes it's going there as well, and the keeper's more relieved than anyone just to see it fly past the top corner.
You see a River change imminently as well.
But River's change will be for a different reason. It's not to inject life into it, it's to keep the energy, the high intensity that they've had all the way through this game so far, so that the game plan can continue to take place.
Pinola pinching the ball off Gabriel Barbosa once again. So Julian Alvarez, big moment for him, the 19-year-old forward has played for the Argentina under-20 side, had a couple of minutes at the end of the semi-final second leg against Boca, and he is on.
He needs to bring energy onto the pitch, carry on that momentum that they've got at the moment, and an opportunity for him to write himself into the history books of River Plate and score a vital goal for them at a crucial game.
There's not a defensive change, is it?
No, and that's great to see. Sometimes you get to this position, you think 20 minutes to go, do we sit in and take what we've got? He doesn't feel that that's the best way to go about it. Feels that Machado feels it's completely the opposite. There's another goal in this for them, or keep pressing high up the pitch and keep Flamengo in their own half.
Diego immediately making his presence felt. Willian Arau on the stretch there, cleared by Caio. Still yet to really get going. Just that one clear-cut chance for Flamengo when there was that scramble, a good save from Armani and a good block from De La Cruz as well. Given how much of a goal threat they possess, it has been a blunt showing from them so far. Bruno Henrique. Away from Perez, and caught there by Enzo Perez. I'd expect the yellow card to come out, and there it is.
Yeah, he knew he was in trouble, Perez. He knew that Henrique had that pace to get by him. He did the sensible thing. It's a tactical foul, bring him down. Just hope we see a different tact here from Flamengo. Will they put the ball in the box? Every free kick that they've had, they've taken short. They haven't caused any problems. When Diego seems like he's going to put the ball into the penalty box finally, and hopefully test this River Plate defence.
So it will be Diego to deliver. Not a bad ball as well, but whistle's gone.
I just wonder, there's a little push in the back as the free kick came in. I just wonder what was given there from the referee. It was better from Diego. It caused a little bit of a problem to River Plate.
Diego, who, as I mentioned, has 34 Brazil caps. He actually headed an injury time equaliser at Wembley in 2007 in England's first game back at the redeveloped stadium, and spent 12 years playing for various sides across Europe. Taken quickly by Everton Ribeiro. Time ticking for Flamengo. Gabriel Barbosa dropping deep. Here's Diego. On the way through for Rascaeta. Everton Ribeiro now. Just trying to find Rafinha. De La Cruz has only succeeded in finding touch.
Seems like everything that Flamengo try is, it's quick, it's rushed, it's not calm.
De La Cruz loses out. Here's Diego. Felipe Luis is going to have a hit. Well, he is still looking for his first goal for Flamengo, so that was probably wishful thinking as he let fly there.
I think Franco Armani will be delighted to see Luis pick the ball up and think he can score from 30-odd yards.
Well, you've got to love it. 1-0 up. He's already brought on one striker, and Gachado is about to bring on another forward. Lucas Prato looks about ready to come on. And it is a striker for a striker. Rafael Santos Borré, who is set to be the match winner, is withdrawn. And Lucas Prato, the 6'2" forward known as the Bear, is on for him. As a former Boca youth player, he had to win over the River fans, but will remain forever etched in River history thanks to strikes in both legs of last year's Copa Libertadores final against Boca. And each of those goals came when they trailed by a goal to nil, so he's scored some absolutely essential goals for them. And he is their second change of the piece. Bruno Henrique. Rascaeta dispossessed, gets it back again here though. Bruno Henrique away from one. Diego, and now Gabriel Barbosa spins it round for Everton Ribeiro. Decent ball in, and the acrobatics from Rascaeta not quite coming off.
That was the best passage of play from Flamengo. It comes from Diego, being calm on the ball, finding a little nutmeg through to Barbosa. It's a lovely reverse pass from Barbosa, and Everton does well to stand it up. The acrobatics doesn't quite match up to the link-up play leading up to that.
third change then for River. Paulo Diaz, who many thought may start as part of a five-man backline, does feature in the final, but he's on for the left-back, Milton Casco, who obviously has a problem, judging by his reaction.
Yeah, he didn't want to leave the pitch in that way, did he? He wants to stay on, help his team out, but sensible thing, if you've got an injury in a game like this, you cannot stay on the pitch and cost your team a goal.
Diego dragged down. Felipe Luis. Everton Ribeiro spins it on. Rafinha. Everton Ribeiro. And in towards Bruno Henrique. Everton Ribeiro managed to snatch the ball there. Towards Gabriel Barbosa, but well gathered by Franco Armani, who hasn't put a foot wrong so far.
Signs that Flamengo are growing in confidence. It's starting to string a few passes together up front and looking a little bit dynamic. Will it be too late in the game to put this period of pressure on River Plate?
Felipe Luis. Escaeta. That's roll one. No foul on Diego. Prato. He's going to have a pop. Well, when you've scored in both legs of last season's final, I guess you're entitled to chance your arm from range.
Yeah, you are if you hit the target, but perhaps the wrong decision there. He's got men either side of him, opportunity to really drive at Flamengo's defence.
Nice pass to set away Gabriel Barbosa. Oh, and he couldn't find a teammate, and that's a real waste.
It's a bad decision. Should do better there.
Everton Ribeiro losing his way. Here's De La Cruz. Enzo Perez. Prato. Excellent stuff, just what he was brought on for.
A great hold-up play. Takes the pressure off your defenders when they're under pressure for the last 5 or 10 minutes. Just halts that momentum that Flamengo have tried to gain in the last few minutes. Took Rafinha a couple of swipes at him to get him down in the end. He's a big old lad.
Again, River are just first to every second ball. Matias Suarez nearly got him round the back. He's dispossessed Felipe Luis. Matias Suarez and laid it off for Palacios, who can't hit the target.
He's been superb, Suarez. Brilliant running behind. It doesn't quite fall for him. He doesn't stop though. He wins it back and then he picks a pass at the end of it, and he should do better, River Plate. They should extend the lead in this game. Superb again from Suarez.
Rafinha, Everton Ribeiro. Pablo Mari to Bruno Henrique. And then Arau has to get back to mop things up. It sounds strange when you're talking about a side who have scored 57 goals in their last 25 matches, but Flamengo look a bit short of ideas in attack. Diego offloading to Mascaeta. Felipe Luis. Willian Arau. Rafinha. Everton Ribeiro. Rafinha. No way through once again. De La Cruz missed that, but to no harm. Caio. Everton Ribeiro. Good burst this. Now it's Gabriel Barbosa. Corner.
Really good play from Everton there. He gets on the half turn and drives at River Plate, and you could just see from the ball that he played in how bobbly it was to Barbosa. Sometimes we're not giving the credit to the players on this pitch of how difficult a surface it has been to play on.
Now, referee just sorting out some issues. Marnie's come a long way, and again has been a safe pair of hands.
Brilliant from Armani. If you're a centre-back and you're in the middle of that box and you're thinking, who's going to win this header? Who's going to get up and win it? Goalkeeper, don't worry, I'm coming for this. I'll claim this. I'll take all the pressure off you again, as he's done all game. His performance has been very, very solid. As important as the frontline players have been pressing, he's been in some key decisions, coming to collect crosses at vital times.
Diego rode one challenge nicely, now finds Everton Ribeiro, who has a bit of room to work with. Everton Ribeiro again. Nice dummy from Bruno Henrique. This is Felipe Luis. Bruno Henrique rising. De La Cruz can run it clear. In fact, he can do better than that. Montiel making up good ground. Nico De La Cruz just got there. Now it's Prato. Prato going for it again. Diego Alves has to get behind it.
He's got one thing in his mind, Prato, every time he gets the ball. Can I get a shot off? Can I make something happen? When he chested the ball down, I thought, he's going to hit this straight away. He took an extra touch, but he couldn't wait to get it out of his feet again.
Bruno Henrique. Here's Gabriel Barbosa. Disappointing final for him, and a really poor pass there, as if to sum it up perfectly. Willian Arau. Mascaeta. Bruno Henrique rescuing things. Here's Everton Ribeiro. Mascaeta hooked on for Gabriel Barbosa, who's kept it in, but has just presented it to Pinola. Came off Willian Arau last. It'll be a River throw, and there'll be no hurry to take it, as Jorge Jesus rolls the dice once more. Willian Arau withdrawn. And it is Vitinho who replaces him, a wide player who is often used as an impact substitute. Actually scored in the Champions League at Manchester United for CSKA Moscow back in 2017. Well, he's used his tactical nous to good effect, and now he wants something from the River Plate supporters to see them home. Felipe Luis is onto it. Felipe Luis again. He was fouled, but the advantage played. Bruno Henrique. Diego. River, understandably, just starting to sit a bit deep.
Yeah, but they look organised, they look solid in what they're doing. Just sat there waiting. There we go. There's the moment. They're waiting for that slack pass.
Macios looking for De La Cruz. And De La Cruz will chase that. Alves can smack it away. Palacios. It's a foul. And that will eat up some more precious seconds for River Plate. There is more football for you later on the BBC after this final. Match of the day coming up on BBC One with highlights of all of the Premier League action, 10:20 on BBC One with Gary Lineker and co. Now then, Rascaeta, Bruno Henrique. Can Flamengo rescue themselves? It's been a flat performance. Bruno Henrique slips it through though, and Rascaeta across, and Gabigol has his goal. Gabriel Barbosa steps up on the big stage to rescue Flamengo.
Look at the fans. You can tell what it means to them to come back into this game. They've been down and out, Flamengo. They've been so poor. They haven't brought any quality. And then Henrique just gets the ball. Henrique on the right-hand side, and he drags it across the goal. I think it's a shot. I'm not so sure he means it. Lovely slide ball from Henrique. And you're thinking, is he stretching for a shot? Barbosa, he doesn't care. He's following in like all good strikers do. Can I find something? Is it going to ricochet off the goalkeeper? He looked marginally offside before it. He wasn't. He's on. Goal stands, and Flamengo back in this game, whether they deserve to be or not.
The top scorer in the Copa Libertadores this year has his 8th goal in the competition, and Jose Jesus' side have got out of jail. 1-1. And suddenly it's the sea of red and black that is celebrating. Four additional minutes. De La Cruz deflected. Diego Alves, uncomfortable one to deal with, and it will be a corner. In fact, there was offside.
I mean, it's so clear that he's not offside. He's way behind the ball, Barbosa. Timing of his run, anticipation of something dropping his way, like all good strikers do. He hasn't switched off all game. He could have been sulking that he hadn't had the service, he hadn't had opportunities, but he keeps going until the very end, and Arguably the easiest goal he'll score, but possibly the most important goal in his Flamengo career.
Well, they've had to wait a long time to have something to shout about, and now they really are shouting. Gabriel Barbosa off after it, and he's in again! Remarkable! Gabby goal has surely grabbed the Copa Libertadores for Flamengo. It's incredible! What scenes! What remarkable scenes!
Well, this is quite incredible. They haven't been in the game, they've been poor from start till the 85th minute, 86th minute, and then a simple ball from Diego. He looks for a long ball. Barbosa suddenly, with a little bit of confidence, thinks, I can pin him. Then he fights for it, which we haven't seen him do all game. It ricochets his way, and he just gets a strike that the keeper can't deal with. And this game is completely flipped on its head, and you can see the Flamengo fans crying. They can't believe what they've seen. They were out of this game. They thought they were going back with nothing to show for the form of the Copa de Libertadores all the way through. And now it looks like they're going to win it.
Well, they want him to be signed permanently. He's on loan from Inter Milan, the 23-year-old. I think the Flamengo supporters will absolutely demand categorically that he has to join permanently now after this stunning display. He's had a poor game up until now, but he has popped up with 2 goals, and this surely is the match winner.
It has to be. It's a great strike. Hard, low, goalkeeper, it's in and around his feet, if you like. He just can't adjust quick enough. It's a great strike from Barbosa. The keeper doesn't have a chance with the speed that it travels past him. But what a finish to the game he's had. Quite incredible.
Well, the 4 additional minutes that were signalled are nearly up, but we'll certainly have a bit longer bolted on after the goal and the celebrations and the yellow card that was dished out as well for his celebration. Heartbreak for River Plate. And, well, a penny for his thoughts. Well, the Flamenco bench are on the pitch there, saying that it should all be over. Pires de Mota has come on for Arrascaeta in the meantime, and Bruno Henrique will take that foul, and I think he was kicked as he went to ground. It's a straight red card, and it's all unravelling for River Plate now. And it looked a stupid kick out on Bruno Henrique. Dearie me, what a disastrous last 5 minutes or so.
So silly from Palacios, isn't it? There's just no need for it at all. And there's another sending off as well.
Well, he's already been booked, Gabriel Barbosa, and, well, he's off. He was sent off in their last game. That was for dissent, and then a second yellow card for sarcastically applauding the referee. And as is customary, he's been in amongst the goals, but also has got his disciplinary problems flaring up once again as well. Nothing if not box office. And although it took a while to get going, it's a crackling crescendo to the Copa Libertadores final. I'm sure that he will say he does know what's going on. but he'd be excused if he was a bit confused given the events of the last 7 or so minutes.
It's just a finish to the game that no one saw coming. We just thought River Plate were going to see it out. They were quite comfortable. And suddenly we've had action for the last 10 minutes or so.
Flamengo are the champions of South America. Jorge Jesus has guided them to only their second ever Copa Libertadores title after one of the most dramatic climaxes in the history of the competition. Marcelo Gallardo so close to claiming another continental crown. Devastation for the Argentinian side. And Flamengo pinch themselves and now get set to party. Full time, Flamengo 2, River Plate 1.
The River Plate fans continue to applaud their team. What a ridiculous sport, ridiculous game. I mean, they're not in it at all. They barely have a chance, Flamengo, Gilberto Silva, and yet Barbosa, who we haven't really seen in that game, 2 goals right at the end.
Well, this is what I spoke before, and it's about winning the game. But obviously, when I look on that game, they were very positive in the game until this 2 chances of Barbosa. And luckily, he got a goal, you know. They built up. They didn't create much. You know, it came out from nothing, especially the first goal. And gave them another chance.
They'd knocked a little bit, haven't they? As in, they'd been a bit more on the front foot in, say, the last 15, 20 minutes, Jonathan Wilson, but still without really creating anything.
Yeah, it's just one of those games where you think, why do we bother doing this job at all? Right? Well, what's the point of analysing anything when that can suddenly happen? But at the same time, yeah, that's the magic of football, isn't it? And I think River look back at it and look at how they conceded possession in the build-up to that equaliser and think maybe that was a bit needless. But yeah, they've been mugged here, they've done everything right and they've lost the game.
39 and 40 goals now for Gabriel Barbosa. We can just see both of them as we cut off the River Plate fans in tears. He just, I mean, actually, this was a good ball across for him. He couldn't miss that. The second one is a sensational finish, but that was a good ball across for him.
Oh, very good ball, you know. It's build up from Bruno Henrique, pass one, and then provide the ball for the Rascaeta and Gabigol, you know, as we call him, because he was at the right place.
As I say, that's his 39th, his winner, 40th. He's also got, well, after today, 22 yellow cards and 2 reds as well. I mean, his disciplinary record, along with his goal-scoring record, is phenomenal, John.
Well, yeah, it's back-to-back red cards, isn't it? But you see his value. You know, Pinola, who's been excellent all game, out-muscles him there, just beats him to that bouncing ball, and once he's got that sniff, it's a great finish.
What does this mean for both Flamengo and Brazilian football?
Oh, it means a lot, you know. Of course, people will talk about, Flamengo didn't play their best game, as we know, they didn't play. But in the end, you remember who win the trophy. And for Brazil, as a country, it's important to have this competition, hold the trophy in the country. Because I think last time I was with Grêmio, if I'm not wrong. And then, bring back the trophy for the country is something very special.
And the chance to go to the Club World Championship, which is hugely important for the South American team.
Yes, also, chance to play against Liverpool. And they look forward now. Everyone can talk about it before we have this conversation, but now officially they can dream about it.
And the other thing, of course, is what you should do is touch the trophy on the way out, because then you get 2 goals heading into stoppage time and winning for your team. So from now on, touch that trophy.
No, now he's officially he can. When I saw that, I said, "Oh no, don't do it."
But do you think it'll take a while for River Plate to recover from that?
I think the fact they've won it twice so recently, it's going to be less of a sting. If it had been before those 2 wins, it would have been yet another big final they've messed up and in incredible circumstances. As it is, yeah, they've got that fantastic record in finals. Begagina's tag is way in the past.
Fair to say that Gabriel Barbosa at the moment is milking it with the Flamengo fans. We're going to leave here on BBC Two. They have won the Copa Libertadores. The presentation ceremony and the trophy lift will be on the BBC Sport website and on the iPlayer. Match of the day on BBC One at 10:20. Bye-bye.
The showdown everyone wanted. Goal! River Plate lead! So now it is time for the prizes to be dished out. They will be celebrating for a long time to come, but surely throughout the course of the 90 minutes, they must have feared the worst. An incredible turnaround, a bitter pill for River Plate to swallow, but what a moment for Flamengo. And I guess that's what the big players do. They may not have had the most impressive 90 minutes, but they can pop up and score 2 goals.
Well, tactically, River Plate played the game so well. And you think of Gajardo's tactics and how he set them up. He must have thought, I've got this so right. And then late on in the game, they switch off, and that man Barbosa comes up with the goods. And he doesn't switch off, and good strikers don't. What a finish to the game. Such a great game in the last sort of 10 minutes or so. I felt Flamengo had to come out and try and get something out of the game with the 15-20 minutes to go, and credit to Jorge Jesus, who tried to put players onto the pitch to make it happen. Did Gajardo get it a little bit wrong, putting strikers on for strikers? Should he have shut up shop? Is that something he might learn from?
Well, they were seen by many as the favourites, Flamengo, but they have certainly had a slice of fortune in this final. But the record books won't say anything about a poor performance or a lethargic display. It will simply say that they beat River Plate thanks to 2 goals late on from Gabigol, who lived up to his name eventually. And now they can start to dream of that potential rematch with Liverpool in the Club World Cup as the Copa Libertadores champions 2019. They will be in the semi-finals for that event. And if they win theirs and Liverpool win their semi, then they will go toe-to-toe in that final. But Stephen, as you mentioned to me, I guess watching this, Liverpool won't really have learnt a great deal because Flamengo didn't play that well.
No, they didn't play well at all. And we said before and during the commentary how many goals they'd scored this season and how dangerous they were. High pressing team, we didn't see that. A fully energetic team, we didn't see that. A creative team, we didn't see that as well. But what they did do is they kept going till the end. So Liverpool will be wary of them. They'll know they're a threat. But watching that game, I don't think Liverpool will fear them at all.
Well, the contrast in emotions is always pretty stark at the end of a final, but even more so when the climax is as incredible as that one. Minutes away from seeing their side crowned champions of South America once again. Instead, they now have to face the music and watch Flamengo and that man take the prize.
It's incredible how quick it changes for him, isn't it? He'd have probably come off the pitch if they'd have lost the game and thought, I've done nothing all game, I haven't contributed, I didn't get the service. The fans would have been moaning that his performance wasn't up to standard. And then he comes up with 2 vital goals. The biggest goals of probably of his career. And the adoring fans just can't stop singing his name now.
Well, Jorge Jesus completes what has been a remarkable 5 months at the helm of Flamengo. An incredible turnaround since he took over. They're running away with the top flight title in Brazil, and now they have bagged the biggest prize of all in South America. Disbelief interspersed with the disappointment for those supporters, some of whom have made 55-hour journeys by buses. The statue of him will still be erected next month. He will always be a legend regardless of what happened in this game. Already the most successful coach in River's history.
Consultarci las emoções que tem tras a obtenção desta Conmebol Libertadores nos últimos minutos da partida.
Cara, jogar Libertadores já é uma emoção, né? Disputar uma final ainda, com a adrenalina lá em cima, com o jogo que foi hoje, a gente fica muito feliz. A equipe do River é uma equipe, era atual campeão, né? A gente colocou todo o respeito neles, mas dentro de campo é isso daí, é 11 contra 11. Eles poderiam ter matado o jogo, não conseguiram. E nos minutos finais a gente conseguiu fazer 2 gols, sagrar campeão.
Falávamos no aeroporto outro dia que você dizia a torcida é muito importante para obter o título. Foi importante hoje?
Com certeza, cara. Esse título a nação merece muito. Desde a nossa chegada, a nossa apresentação de todos os jogadores. Desde o primeiro jogo lá em Oruro, que a gente teve bastante dificuldade, altitude e tudo. A gente foi, cada jogo, crescendo na competição, para nós chegar aqui hoje e mostrar que o Flamengo
Bruno,
é grande.
parabéns para você.
Graças, obrigado.
Bruno Henrique, a very happy man, understandably. The Estadio Monumental seeing a monumental climax to this final. It was a slow burner, but what scenes at the end. And what a party now for those Flamengo supporters. They suffered heartbreak in their last Continental Cup final when they lost in the Copa Sudamericana in 2017. But Rafinha and co are the champions of the continent now. And how about that from Gabriel Barbosa to score 2 late goals to turn defeat into victory and be sent off is, well, remarkable.
He's managed to do everything in one game. Play poorly, score 2 goals, be sent off. But he won't care. He's picking a trophy up at the end of the game in front of the fans. Like you say, he won't care how the game went. As long as you pick up that medal at the end of the day and it's put over your head and round your neck. The proudest moments of his career. You can see how much he enjoys playing at the club. He enjoys being adored by them fans. You have to feel for the River players and the fans as well. I think sometimes when you lose the game in them circumstances, you'd rather get beaten 2 or 3-0.
So now it is time for the presentation, and of course it will be the runners-up first, and River Plate taking the walk that no player ever has to want to undertake.
Com Gabigol. Parabéns, Gabriel, pela vitória el dia de hoje. Partido muito difícil, muito complicado, mas eles sacaram tudo, a capacidade para poder vencer.
Realmente muito feliz, eu acho que é um dia histórico, fizemos história, então agradecer muito a Deus, muito, agradecer a minha família, ao staff, a essa torcida maravilhosa, momento histórico e muito feliz.
Que ano para você?
Um ano maravilhoso, um ano que vai ficar guardado pro resto da minha vida e para todos os flamenguistas, para todos os brasileiros.
Aí então,
Well, they're celebrating, putting their name on that trophy for the second time. And it is a sizable piece of silverware as well. You can see there a Gloria Eternal, eternal glory, the hashtag for the Copa Libertadores. And Flamengo have grasped that eternal glory in the most dramatic of circumstances. It could have been so much different. Franco Armani only had to make one serious save before that Barbosa blockbuster late on.
Jugador del torneo de la Conmebol Libertadores.
Well, first of all, the team of match officials will go to receive their medals. But Bruno Henrique, it appears, is going to receive the award for best player in the tournament. And many felt before this game that he was arguably the star performer. 12 goals in his last 12 games in all competitions as well, including both legs of the Copa Libertadores semi-final against Gremio.
Conmebol Libertadores anuncia Ribeiro, el capitán de Flamengo, recibe el plato del campeón, Ribeiro.
Everton Ribeiro will now receive his prize as well.
la final de la CONMEBOL Libertadores 2019.
So the team of match officials first to receive their medals, and despite that chaotic final few minutes, on the whole they seem to keep a pretty decent hand on things.
I thought they handled the occasion very well. See tackles going in early doors. You're wondering whether he'd be quick to brandish a yellow card, whether he'd let things go. I thought he was superb in the way he dealt with it. It was always going to be tough at the end of the game when tempers are flaring a little bit from the River Plate players. And I think he made the correct decision to send the player off. I'm still a little bit unsure about the Barbosa sending off and what it was for, but he seemed to be backed up by VAR to send both players off. So all in all, a good game for the referee and his team.
Yeah, good that there are no contentious refereeing decisions to be debated about after the final. And now here is the walk that nobody ever really wants to have to do. The runners-up going up to pick up their medals. You just want to get out of there as quickly as possible, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's even more frustrating when you've got a guy holding you back and you're thinking, I just want to get on there, get me medal, go, leave. This is the worst moment of the game for these River Plate players now, having to deal with this walk, pick up that runners-up medal. They have to show respect after it when they step off, and show the respect towards the Flamengo players for winning the game as well.
Well, they are through to the final of the Argentine Cup, so they will have another shot at picking up a trophy, and they're only a point off top spot in the Argentinian top division as well. But this is the big one, and it will be a huge disappointment not just to lose, but to lose in that manner. But fair play to the fans who are doing their best to cheer the spirits of the players. Bar a penalty shootout, you can't imagine a tougher pill to swallow than that for River.
I don't think there's many worse ways to lose a game than to concede one. And you think you've got the game won as well. You feel like you're in a comfortable position. Flamengo hadn't caused you many problems, and then suddenly you get hit with that sucker punch and you think, okay, we'll go to extra time, we'll deal with it, we'll get on with it. And then Barbosa, when he just steps up at the end and rockets one past the goalkeeper, you just feel that everything that you've put into the game has just been taken away from you within the space of 2-3 minutes.
Well, they can console themselves with the fact that they have been there and done it recently enough. But for Pinola, this may be his last chance to get his hands on that trophy once again at 36 years of age. And will this be the last time that he goes up as a River Plate coach? Marcelo Gachado, touted as being a target for a number of top European sides. And when you count Pep Guardiola and Lionel Messi amongst your fan base, you imagine that the offers aren't far away.
He has to take it as a learning experience. So it'll be tough for him to take, but he'll come away from this, he'll assess the situation, the decisions that he made in the game tactically, the changes that he made substitutionally, and they're things that you have to take on the chin at times and try and learn from. No doubt in his qualities as a manager, though.
Well, they had a mountain to climb late on, but scale it they did, Flamengo, and they're now about to taste the fruits of their labour for the first time since 1981. They are about to get their hands on the Copa Libertadores trophy.
Ahora llamamos al club Flamengo.
Here we go then.
Campeón de la Conmebol Libertadores 2019.
It's obviously the fast-track entrance for relatives of the respective players. Gabriel Barbosa will never forget tonight. 2 goals and a red card late on in the South American football showpiece.
And it didn't turn out to be a jinx, him touching the trophy before the game. And the guys in the studio spoke about it, not touching the trophy. I'm one of them people who think along them lines as well. Pick it up after, when you've won it, once you've earned it.
Well, I'm sure hardly any of those players going up now would have been thinking they'd be getting hold of the trophy as the clock ticked towards the 89th minute, but there they are, posing with the big one in South America. And attentions will be turning quickly to next month's Club World Cup and the opportunity of another showdown with Liverpool and a chance to recreate arguably their finest moment, the 3-0 win over the Merseysiders in Tokyo in 1981. Wouldn't be a trophy presentation without someone taking a selfie. Adolfo, who didn't get on the pitch, which is a shame because our statman Tom came up with a great line that he's unfortunately known as Frankenstein due to his physical appearance, which is a somewhat harsh nickname. That's right, 2 titles now for Flamengo in the Copa Libertadores. Do with a few more CONMEBOL administrative executives up there, because I don't think there's enough, is there?
I'm sure the stage is going to be big enough once all the players have brought the families onto the pitch, onto the stage as well, and see how much it means to the players to share it with the families, with the children as well.
Well, there is the man who's masterminded it, although it was a close-run thing for Jorge Jesus, but what an impact he has had since his appointment in June. Winning the Copa Libertadores there, all but assured of winning the Brazilian top-tier title too. The Portuguese is etching his name into Flamengo folklore. Given the size of the trophy, there's probably a fair amount of coordination that's required for the trophy lift. But at the moment, it looks as though they've left it behind. For the second time in their history, Flamengo are the Copa Libertadores winners. The best side in South America. When they won it in 1981, they then beat Liverpool in the Intercontinental Cup, and they will have the Merseysiders in their sights again when they go to the Club World Cup in December. It's Flamengo's night at the Estadio Monumental. From myself and Stephen Warner, it's good night.